how did I get so? And then suddenly things just happen, and it looks like you've lost so much, and you need to come back. How has that ever been for you? Today I have a very amazing woman in the studio. So let me formally welcome all of you to Wise Words on Parenting with Balale Enak. And today I've got a super person who is going to be with us, and you are welcome. I'm going to welcome her in a minute. Are you excited though? If you're excited, let me know. Please click share. It's both on what's on YouTube and on Facebook. And please invite your friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mrs. Ayotunde Adeusi. Okay, Auntie, how are you? Hey, awesome. You froze a bit, but you look super. Excellent. You look amazing.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Nancy. Good evening. All right. If you can hear us loud and clear, please let us know. That's important for us so that we don't just start, hi, Ify. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Awesome. All right. If you can hear us loud and clear, and those on YouTube, I hope you can also hear us loud and clear. I'm very excited. Very, very excited about today. So, Mrs. Adeusi, well, I've always called you Auntie Ayo all my life. So, so we'll oscillate between both, okay? I mean, I've known you now I was calculating the other day that I've known you for 23 years.
Yes,
yeah? Yes. It's because I met you. I met you when I was 17. So people must just do the math. They must just do the math. But anyway, thank you for agreeing. Thank you for agreeing to come. Thank you for agreeing to come. If Ifeoma is already saying that this just feels like disappearing, don't worry, Ifeoma. You have a sister in me, okay? I feel the same way a lot of times. And today we're just going to have a great discussion with Mrs. Adeusi. So, Auntie Ayo, introduce yourself. I think it would be nice for us to just meet you. I'm sure people would just like to know who this person is. So kindly introduce yourself. And how are you feeling? How are you feeling, first of all? How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm cool. Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege to be here. My name is Ayotunde Adeusi. Ayotunde Adeusi, but Ayo for short. Most times we don't remember the Sunday part of it. Do you know about me? I'm a cake artist. I'm a public speaker. What else do? I create digital courses, so I do a lot of training online for people in different aspects, especially cake craft and copywriting. I have 2 adult sons, biological sons. I have adopted ones too. I'm a widow. What else? I'm a lover of God. I'm a child of God. I love God to bits. And I live principles.
Awesome.
There's no two way about it.
Awesome.
So in a nutshell, that's who I am. That's what we discuss. I'm glad we'll get to that side of me.
Fantastic. And it's really nice to have you here, to be honest. I know when we first started talking about this, right, it just felt very interesting. Like, Bonale, are you sure? I was sure from day one, though, that you were one of the people that I wanted people to hear about your story and how you're raising your boys. So I'm very, very excited about seeing. So I sent you a few questions, right? We will go through those questions and we will do more. And so one of the reasons why we do this is because I believe very strongly that a lot of adults have so much to say to the younger generation. I feel like we know a lot. We think we know a lot. I know it's a knowledge age, and I know knowledge is the new gold. But I also believe very, very strongly that there's a lot that we can glean from the older generation, from the experiences. There's an adage that says that what a child will see standing on a tree, an adult will see father just sitting down. I know I butchered that proverb, but you know what I mean. Um, so I just really strongly, strongly believe that there's so much we can absolutely learn from the older generation, and that's why we're doing this. So, guys, if you've got questions, if you've got things that you'd like to ask us, today, please throw in your questions, because we're going right into it. We're absolutely just running into it today. So it's going live on Facebook and going live on YouTube. This is the first time we're doing that, so we're very excited about that, and we hope that our YouTube people also have questions and they have things to say, and I'm trusting that today will just be fabulous. Okay, so Auntie, I have asked you who you are. I was saying that when I met you, I was 17 when I met you, and I think that you're one of those people in my life that has been very instrumental. And like I say, this is part of why I'm doing this, to say, guys, there are a few things I know. I'm a family life enthusiast, but there are people in my life that speak to me. I always refer to you as my spiritual godmother. And I know that there's so much that you've done. I mean, you've raised two amazing boys. Your sons are super. Okay, let's not reveal people know them. but it's not about the boys tonight. Yeah. Let me not use them as like cheap, like anti really. So, but it's fine. Let's just stick to mommy. Okay, let's stick to you tonight. But I'm really impressed by your boys. And I think for me, it's not just about them. It's not, how do I say this? I think that, knowing you from when they were little and now that they're adults, they're on TV, they're doing all sorts of things. I've watched how you parented your boys. So tonight we're going to talk a lot about boy child, okay, and how to raise them and those kinds of things. But how are you feeling in this season as a parent? How are you feeling?
This is a different season from the seasons when I was raising them. Now that they are adults, it's a different ball game entirely. Now they have come to a place where they have to take their own decisions by themselves. So my position with them now is, number one, a friend, a confidant, an advisor. Okay.
Okay.
It's not like when they were younger, you insist on certain things. Now you just have to, lay back and just pray that the things and the principles with which you raise them, they will stick by them. And when you find out that maybe, or you see, or in the course of prayer, you have a feeling that things are not working out, I can only go in as an advisor, right? A confidant, a friend. I cannot enforce anything, because they now have their rights. They have the right to live their lives the way they want. So much of the work that I do now is prayer work, I tell you.
Right. Okay. So that means that forgive me, my hair is just bothering me. Okay, I think I'm feeling better. Okay. All right. So what you're saying to me in essence is that the seasons of parenting definitely changes, right? It changes. So okay, so now you are in the advisory stage. You're no more in the stage where it's like friendship, right? But the bulk of the work that you did with them stemmed from when they were younger. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
So
okay.
You've got to build a friendship from when they were young. If you don't friendship with your children from when they're young, you can't be their friends when they are grown up. Right. And then that way you lose all control. Because if you are not friends with them, they will come to you for advice. Right. Or they won't even about themselves to you. But in my own case, we've always gelled. I've always gelled my boys, and we are more like peers, right? When they were younger, yes, that parent thing was there, but we built that relationship. And over the years, the teenage years, when they were in college in the US, I kept it up. And so now, and like Bolanli, that I live in a different country from where they live. So, But we spend quite a lot of time on the phone. You amazingly, you won't believe it. They are my best friends, actually. Bounce off them when I'm troubled. They're the ones I call. When they are troubled, they call me.
Right.
And then pray together.
Right. Okay.
And when we don't have the solution ourselves, okay, we're going to look out for basically what it is now.
Right. So I get sometimes it's tricky, but I'm sure. Please, guys, if you can't hear us at some point, just let us know so that we know what to do. Okay. So let's go to maybe like the beginning. So let me run with this. How did you feel? First time being a first time mom. How was that for you?
I thought of that. I tried to remember pace. It wasn't excitement because it was something was going to happen.
Okay. Sorry, Auntie, you're breaking up a bit.
It wasn't an issue of being excited.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
No, but it's fine. Carry on.
There was no excitement for me. It was more like something that had to happen, and then it has happened. Hey, so let's go on with life from there. That was what it was.
Okay.
I don't know, but that's what it was for me. I think one of the reasons why it was like that was because of the kind of person that I am. Later in life, I realized that as a younger person, there were so many things about life that I knew nothing about. I was super, super naive.
Really?
In fact, the worst case of naive when it came to living life, social living, interacting with people. I was super naive. There were some things I just took for granted that they just had to happen.
Like what?
And so what happened, I just go on. There was no big deal about it. That's me.
Okay. I'm loving this conversation. Okay. So, was there a difference between when you had your first child and your second child? Was there any difference for you?
Yes, there was. The first one was the learning process. The second one was the real deal. The first time I had no clue what to expect. I had read books, right? I'd read books, I'd read magazines, but the reality came with having the first child.
Okay.
So I have learned a lot of things, in the process of having him. So by the time I got pregnant and I was birthing the second one, it was more like an informed person.
Okay.
Who was in control. Yes. And so basically it was a lot easier because now I wasn't birthing a lot. And I had also learned that, of course, there'll be difference between each child and all of that. So basically, it was just cool, right?
Okay.
Nothing so on our prayers, just like that.
So the first child you were...
So there was no difference. What?
Okay. So the first child you were sort of clueless, and then by the second one you were more informed. You felt you were more informed. You felt much better with your second one, right? Right. Hello, can you hear me, Auntie?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's a word to all the new mummies. Okay, I always try to start with the first time moms. Okay, or second time moms. It's okay. It's okay to actually feel overwhelmed, or first time moms or dads. It's actually fine, right, to feel overwhelmed. You've not done it before. Don't be like me. I wanted to do it so well that I crashed. Honestly, after my first one, I had postnatal depression, and I didn't even know. I'd never heard that before because I'd never really taken care of any child in my life. I knew nothing about these things, So the first one, I was overwhelmed. And then the second one, when I now knew the signs. So it was much better. Not that I mean, I had easy pregnancies and everything. It's not like it was all easy, grand, and all that, but it's, yeah. But so, like, if a mother feels that some days she feels like disappearing, we just want to encourage you that it's okay. Those things happen, all right? It's just, it's fine. Okay. And so let's be right along, because I know that there's so much for us to talk about today. Okay.
Okay.
What principles did you base your parenting on? What principles did you base your parenting on? Was it books? Was it
My
Bible?
my principle was just based on the word of God. Okay. All the people I have seen around me um, raising children were believers, they were Christians. And
Okay.
what I saw was them raising their children by the principles of the word of God. So naturally, and then being a Christian, I just followed suit. All right.
Right.
Whatever examples we saw in scriptures was what I followed. Right. I trained my children from the time they could talk. They started learning memory verses. All right.
Oh, wow.
And amazingly, 30 years after, my first son still remembers the very first verse he learned. And he can tell you when he learned it. It was so amazing when we talked about it. So that was basically what it was. And then, our culture, I'm a young woman in my dream. We have to talk about culture and moral leading, how to respect elders and all of that. I was raised with it, and by my own judgment, that was good. So I went ahead and did the same thing. And my husband, we agreed on all of this. So there wasn't a problem with it. But basically, we were determined to raise our children for Christ. And so, and then being a children's teacher, then I became a children's teacher when I think I had my second child. I can't remember. In between the two of them, I became a children's teacher in church, and I attended a lot of training.
Right.
Training teach children the word of God. So they were the first ones that applied it on before having a Bible club and bringing in other children and teaching all of them together. So it was just basically the word of God. And like I told you, that being super naive, there were so many things I didn't know. I never learned anything about money and other things. So of course, since I didn't know, I didn't raise my children that way, right? There are some things I look back at now. We'll talk about those later.
Yeah, we will.
On them then. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I like what you're touching on. So you're saying to me that looking back there, okay, but we'll get on to things that you could have done better. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying to me now that most of the things that you used were like Bible based. You check scripture, and then people that you knew around you. And that speaks to even my last episode. And she was also talking about people around them. So it feels to me like when we're raising children, it's important to actually surround ourselves with certain kinds of people. That's what I'm hearing. How was that for you, even in that season and now? How was that for you?
There's a Yoruba adage that says it is one woman that gives birth to a child. It is 2,000 that raise the child. We have that adage in Yoruba. Every mother around raises the child. And for me, when I would go to friends' houses, when we go visiting people, whether they were older than us or they were our peers, I was always watching out for how they were raising their children. There were some people that I admired, and so I was always paying attention to things they would say and things they would do. I'm more of the observant person. In those days, I scarcely asked questions, but I would open my eyes out. Then I would read the newspapers and I would read magazines, and I had a lot of Christian books, right? So this formed the basis for me. And I'm one person who believes that my children can be corrected by other people.
Okay.
Yes. Even as teenagers, I believe that I'm not a repository of knowledge when it comes to children or comes to anything. So we can learn from anybody. So if somebody is correcting my child or spanking my child, I don't take offense. I look at what are they trying to teach my child that I have not. So for me, it is not the child who's at fault. It's probably me or my husband not doing the right thing. And we didn't have, I can't even count up to 3 times that happened. But I always made sure I had my eyes and my ears open to see what other things I could pick up from other people to use to raise my own children. So that was for me.
So this makes me even feel better, right? Please, guys, if you've got questions, if you've got any comments, things you want to ask her, please don't even wait for me to ask the questions. Please share it on your group and wherever you are. Please let people know that we're on. We'll be on for the next 30 minutes or so that we can just all learn together. Okay, so you've touched on a few things, and I believe that very strongly, that it takes a village to raise a child, and that there are many things that even you as a parent, you can't see and other people can't see, and it only makes sense that you listen. So I'm not saying don't believe your children when things are happening. But I'm saying at least be open to what other people are seeing or whatever it is that they're saying. You see what I'm saying? So I'm a very big believer in that. Okay. And at the same time, I'm hearing you say you were very observant. You listened and you watched people a lot. I am forever looking at people and just learning, not because I want to feel bad with myself or anything, but just to see what, and that's what has driven me on this journey of family life, being a family life enthusiast, just wanting to learn and wanting to know more. Okay, so I'm going to go right on to my written questions, and then I'm going to ask all those other things. Okay, I know that at some point you lost your husband. We'll talk about that because it's important. Sorry, what did you say? Sorry?
You are being hesitant about talking about it.
No. Oh, okay. They're saying that our network is interesting.
Okay.
So I wonder if, I know that sometimes until you
I don't
come
know
in and you
what
okay, you know what we can do?
Yeah.
I can get you to go out of studio and then come right back in, right? And then we'll see if it will be much better when you come back in. In the meantime, well, sorry about that, Mary. So maybe you can go off and then come right back in. Auntie, maybe that would work. So Ronke is talking about the fact that you said memory verse. Yay. Okay. All right. So I know those are very important things, right? If you're a Christian, if you've got values, the values of your faith. I'm a Christian. I'm very big on my kids understanding scripture and knowing scripture. Okay. So I've asked her to go off and then she'll be right back in so that we'll sing. Okay, so today I had a very, how I had this very interesting experience, right? Where my son said something, and for once I had to say to myself, okay, Bolanle, what are you going to think about this? Are you going to feel bad that, oh, as a parent, am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? I know that many of us sometimes, please put in the chat box, do you ever doubt your parenting skills from time to time? Please put it there, especially those of you who are parenting boys. What is your take? You understand? What is your take? And I saw somebody there, Grant, writer on our YouTube page. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited. And Mrs. Adeusi is right back. So I'm sure it's going to get a lot better. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we can. And in fact, yes, you look stable and yes, perfect. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. I think this is just fine. We must just leave it as that. I think that's brilliant. Okay. All right. So when you were raising your boys, did you and your husband, I know he's late now, and I'm hesitating because I love him and I miss him, but we have to talk about that. Did you ever, what was your like did you have value sets? This is what we're going to do. Maybe when you were dating, did you have those kinds of conversations? Because we have different people who are at different stages watching this. Some are dating, some are married, some are first time parents, some are in their, parenting toddlers, teens, and then adult children. So when you were dating, something like that, on your early stages, did you have those kinds of conversations with your husband at the time?
Bolale, I told you, naive as naive could come. We never discussed any such thing.
Wow.
What did we used to discuss anyway? Just used to talk at random. There was no those serious things we didn't discuss. So,
Really?
first time we didn't. It's one of the things that if I could go back, rewind the hands of time, I would do.
Okay.
I assumed a lot. I just believed that, first of all, let me shock everybody. I wasn't planning to get married. Marriage wasn't tripping me. Okay. And so when my late husband first came and said he wanted to marry me, I told him no. I told him, and outright no. I was more interested in working for God full time, and not having anything distract me. That was what I wanted. But I remember having an encounter. I can't tell you the whole story today because it's going to take another 15 minutes. I had an encounter with God where he told me, you have to marry that man. So, and I just told God, I said, well, if you say I should marry him, then you better take care of the rest, right? And so for everything, I just went back to him. Okay. And that was it for me. So in dating, we didn't discuss all those things. By the time we said yes, we are planning marriage, wedding already.
Okay, I want to put up this comment because actually, let me go with this first. Ronkia was saying she questions her parenting skills, especially when she sees others, who are so well put together. And then Toyin says, no, she never does. She jokes. She often doubts her parenting skills. Jokes. Oh, sorry, I didn't get that on time. Of course she does. But she has the Holy Spirit to constantly remind her to stay close to his heart so that she can hear what he's doing and see what he's doing, and he leads her in this parenting journey. That makes that is so on point, right? I agree with you. She's a parenting coach. She's a Christian transformational coach, so I know she usually depends on the Lord for that, and that's an encouragement for all of us, that what he's got us. For those of us who are Christians and believers, he's got you. He's able to help you. Okay, let's go to your regrets. I know you've already touched on some of them. You didn't want to get married.
But before you leave that point, as much as we rely on the Holy Spirit to help us, there's a part we have to do. We must seek knowledge. Okay? We must seek knowledge. That was something that took me years to understand. We rely on the Holy Spirit, but we must also seek knowledge. We must also learn what to do. And then with the help of the Holy Spirit, we are able to achieve. Don't sit down and say, God will show me all things, and you're not doing anything. Because the Bible says that faith without works is dead. Okay. So there's a part, there's the God part, and there's the you part, or the me part. So I must not neglect the me part, okay, saying God will show me all things, like I used to do. Okay. That's the truth.
Okay, I hear you on that. I hear you. And in fact, in my own experience, I found where I'm like, Lord, please teach me what to do. And he leads me to a book, or leads me to a person to speak to, or leads me to a teaching or a webinar, or I just sit in my quiet time and I'm like, Lord, what do you think? And it can lead me to a scripture, and that would give me the direction. So I guess, and I hear what you're saying. I think both of you are saying the same thing, where listen, rely on the Holy Spirit and seek knowledge, and he teaches you. I mean, he won't teach you to go listen to something that will just throw you and your family off the hook. So I hear you on that. Okay. All right. So tell me, Auntie, Do you have
Yeah.
any? What are the things you could have done? You've touched on, you could have thought about things better, you could have sought for help. Any regrets you have? Anything?
Mm.
Something you, no,
Uh,
not regrets, anything you could have done better.
okay, I could have trained. There are two areas, and
Okay.
recently I was discussing with the boys, the men. You know, I'm still used to calling them boys, but they are men.
How old
They
are
are
they
men.
now, by the way?
29 and 27. Wait, oh, let me get it right. Yeah,
Parents.
yeah, 29 and 27. Yeah, I have
That's
to make sure I'm
amazing.
getting it right. Yeah.
Amazing.
Two things that I didn't do, two areas that I neglected. They teaching them about money and how to handle money. I was never taught. So I didn't even know it was something that needed to be done. Okay, so I had no clue. We need to teach our children how to make money, how to save money, how to invest money, how to relate with money, right?
Mm.
Especially for us believers. Look, I will talk straight from my heart as a believer. The times we're in, God desires for believers to be in charge. And there are a lot of things that we can't get done for the kingdom if we don't have money. We will not have money if we don't learn how to relate with money. So it is imperative for us as parents to learn and to pass it on to our children. Sometimes, I don't know whether you have ever wondered why you see that those who are believers, more than 60-70% of believers, are middle class people. And you are wondering why. And then you see those who don't have Christ, those who don't subscribe to being born again, you see them doing extremely well, being wealthy and all of that. I used to wonder, but I now know why. Okay. Another area which I neglected to train my children in, and I'll tell you why, is the area of fasting. I trained them in praying because I do a lot of praying. But in those years, was struggling with fasting. Okay? I was struggling with fasting. And so it was difficult for me to train them on that. So I believe that if I had another chance, I will do a lot. I will do much more than I did in raising them. It is the grace of God that has covered my lapses. It is the grace of God.
So what
So
I'm hearing, okay, sorry, carry on.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say now is that there are spiritual disciplines that you wish that you did better, but because you struggled in some of those things, you couldn't
Yeah,
pass them on.
yeah,
And then I'm also hearing that with the issue of money, um, you also couldn't pass on a proper like mindset or a healthier mindset with regards to finances to your children. So those are two
yeah,
areas that you wish you did better, right?
yeah,
Am I correct?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
fantastic. So let's talk about being happily married and then losing your husband. So the
Yeah,
boys are probably in their early 20s or late teens.
early,
How did that?
yeah, they were in
And
between.
Sissy, hang on, Mrs. Adeusi. There's something I want you to do on this one because we
Okay.
don't often find many people talk about things like this. Yeah. I know it's been how many years? It's been how many years now? About
9 years.
9 years. Okay. Um, and I just want you to talk us through just that. Yeah, how was that? How was that for you as a person, and then how was that on your parenting and practically? And I trust.
So you're asking me his passing, what effect did it have, right?
Yes. How was
Okay.
that, first of all? How was that?
How his passing.
Yes.
That was a
On you.
crazy, that was crazy, man. It's not worse, it still is. Because the effect, it's something that stays with you like forever. It's never ending. It's never ending. So it's still a constant, right? But it's just God's grace. He was ill for about 3 months. At the point when we thought getting better, then he passed.
Wow.
And I'm standing there in the hospital room. Oh, I'm not standing, I'm sitting. I'm sitting by his bed, holding his hand. And he looks at me and he smiles and he breathes his last. And I'm like, really? Did that just happen?
Wow.
And his big sister is sitting on the other side. And she's saying, Ayotunde, Umatidake. And if I'm saying, Atoyin, Umadake, you know, 2 days women, 2 days women. And then she just starts screaming. And, you know, because she's older. And then all the other siblings and nephew, you know, rushed into the room and everybody's crying and wailing. And I'm just there numb. And I'm trying to pacify everybody, and you know, and I'm answering the doctor's questions, and that was the initial thing. But something happened. That happened about 2:36 in the afternoon. That night, I did not sleep in the house where we were. It happened in the UK. My sisters-in-law felt, oh no, she shouldn't sleep on the same bed they used to share. It would be too traumatic. So I was moved to another house. And because I was exhausted, because we'd been in the hospital for a full day before he passed, I was really exhausted. So I barely ate anything. I just went to sleep. But in the middle of the night, I suddenly woke up. And I saw myself in an unfamiliar environment. I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? And then all of a sudden, I remember what has happened. And I just begin to scream in the middle of the night. And then I realized, okay, it's fine. Then I tried to calm myself down and I'm just holding myself and saying, Jesus, 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 Jesus. You know, and well, Jesus came and he calmed me down. And from that point on, I just knew that I had no choice but to hold on to Jesus. So that kept giving me strength. Anytime, you know, that feeling to break down would come, I would just start calling the name Jesus, Jesus. I made sure that I would have my quiet time. I would pray. I would listen to God. And I asked him to help me to deal with the situation because that was the first time any such thing came close to me. You know, maybe if you had lost a parent before or something, then one could understand it could be lessened the effect, but it wasn't. But the other thing that made me stand strong, was when I thought of my children. They were in the university in the US. One was in his second year, the other one was in his fourth year. And you see, the painful aspect of it was that one of them just left about 4 or 5 days before the father passed. We were all holidaying in the UK when it happened. And so, but when I suddenly remember that, hey, these children are going to have to rely on me, I have to put myself together. And I didn't want a situation where any one of them would, you know, fall prey to any form of anything, you know, all because I was not there for them. So I had to tell myself, look, you just have to be strong for these boys, okay? Because we're a very close-knit family. We're a very close-knit family. So now it was an issue of they didn't have any other person but me. So I said to myself, Omo, you just have to be there for these guys, and there's no other way about it. And so day by day, I would ask God for help, day by day, day by day, day by day. That's how we went through it, day by day. There are days we break down. There's the day somebody is not feeling up to it. There's the day I'm crying all day, you know, and stuff like that.
Wow.
But then, God's help. 9 years does not take it away, and eternity does not take that pain away. Because once a while something happens, and we begin to, you're almost like, okay, let me ask him what to do. You've forgotten that he's no longer there. And then when you realize that, sometimes I break into a smile, sometimes I break into a cry, you know, and sometimes I just sigh, say, hey, this life there is some way, you know, but it's ever present. It's ever present. It's ever present.
Wow. And to, yeah, Mr. Adeusi, thanks for sharing. Like, I'm telling
Yeah,
myself, okay,
we
smile,
can
Bolale, smile.
we can smile about it now, and I just give God praise because I've seen women who lost their husbands and lost their minds and then lost their lives eventually. I've seen women who, when they lost their husbands, things fell apart for them and they couldn't just put things together. I've seen women who their husbands have passed and they are just shattered. They are the mercy of friends and stuff. So I just thank God every day that I am where I am. And it's all
Wow.
by God's grace, I tell you. There is nothing except God's grace. Nothing except His grace. And every
Thank
day I
you.
just wake up, I'm dancing, not because I lost Him, but because He has sustained us. Because His help is real. Me, when they talk about the help of God, you can't come and argue it in front of me. Yes, because I experienced it moment by moment. So that's what it's all about.
Fantastic. Ooh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, Grand Writer is saying, thank you so much for sharing that.
Uh,
Um, and then, and also asking a question. And I think, yeah, this is important. So
wow.
how long did it take you to learn to live without your husband? Have you been able to?
That's a serious question because I'm not sure that I'm at that point yet. Um, Daily, I'm learning that I have to take my decisions by myself. It's a bit difficult to, in this situation, to ask people to assist in making decisions. Normally in marriage, you have the other person to bounce things on, and then you decide together what to do. But in this case, it's a bit difficult, and I'll tell you why. You know, when he passed, some of my friends took off. They wouldn't come close to me anymore.
Wow.
I'm not saying now, some of them. Even hi, they won't say. And I always tell my friend, Miss Sonia, that okay, maybe they think that if they come close, their own husbands will die. I
Oh
don't,
no.
I don't know. I don't know. I can only think about it. Yeah. But how long I don't think it's something I can't say boldly that I have learned to live without him. What I would rather say is I've learned to trust in God. And there comes a time in your life after the loss of a spouse that you are at a point where you are ready to move on. Okay, at that point will come, but it comes for each person at a different time. Okay, where you are now ready to move on and let the past be in the past. I think
Wow.
maybe, yeah, that is where the point where I can say that okay, one will now be um, ready to live without him. Probably, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question, honestly. I don't.
You've done a good job. It's fine. You've done a good job on that one. Okay, I want to ask you a question. As it
Yeah.
pertains to parenting, because now your husband passed at a point where I think maybe your boys also really did need him. So as a
Hmm.
single mom, so let's look at this now, as a single mom, because suddenly you had become a single mom,
Yeah.
not by choice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how was that? What did you practically have to do? You understand,
Yeah.
in being now a father and a mother for
Mm-hmm.
your sons.
Yeah. I had to become dad and mom by default. Okay, by default, because now for everything they're looking up to me, and I have to be conscious of the fact that I must play both roles for them. Okay, um, there'll be friends, there'll be other people around them who will fill in one or the other part. And I thank God for the people that God has placed around us who are really, 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 in fact, they are God sent. I don't even know how to describe them, you know. And they feel one aspect or the other, which as a woman, I can't. They have role models in church. They have mentors at work, and you know, on the work level and on the Christian level to assist them. But I have the primary role as a parent to keep parenting them. Now, at the time their father passed was the time they really needed him. And the second man just turned 18 the week before his father passed.
Wow.
Yes. But what I am grateful for was that while he was around with us, he was an active parent.
Aha.
He was an active parent. Because there were some things I discovered after he passed that he had done, and I had no clue about. You know, there's sometimes I'm at home and he said, "Oh, I'm going over to the supermarket. I'm going with Deepo, or I'm going with Dapo," and they go off. And to me, they don't go to the supermarket to get things. But he was taking time to train them, to connect with them, to prepare them for adult life. There were so many things he had discussed with them. There were so many, you know, they could ask him questions freely because that was the kind of father he was. He was a loving father. 24 hours loving, you know. So he was active in their lives. And so he had imparted a lot of knowledge. And, you know, I would say this, that when I heard some of the things that he had discussed with them, the things he had done with them, I began to ask myself, like, did he know he was going to die early? You get it? Because you wonder, why did he do that? Why did he say that? You know, so they really needed him. So I had to do a lot of praying, and I'm sure the boys to themselves did a lot of praying because at that point, both of them were also born again. So I'm sure they did a lot of praying, and we held ourselves together. Okay. So every, I think, was it long vac or Christmas or something, they would come home.
Okay.
Excuse me, coming home, then I would go to them so that we could spend time together. Yeah. Right. And so now they're growing, they're grown. Thank God for the Soya. Thank God for all the other people that God has put around them. Thank God for their cousins who are older, you know, they help. They feel one way or the other. Surrounding, if you trust him, surrounding you with the right set of people who can help, you know, in one way or the other to mitigate the effect of the loss. Yeah. So that's what I was doing.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you for sharing all of this. This is so good. Hey, it's so good. Okay. So for everyone who is watching, please throw in your comments. Let's know what you're thinking. Let's know what you're. We've got a few minutes left. I've got 1 or 2, 3, 4 questions for her. Let me know what you're thinking. More questions. Thank you, Grand Writer, for your questions on YouTube. For all those that made comments on Facebook, thank you very much. Okay, I've got a question. What would you tell your 25-year-old self?
Oh, my 25-year-old self. She would need to be more sociable, okay? Have friends, make friends, and keep friends. Well, I let you know.
I'm laughing.
My 25-year-old self would need to be more friendly and learn to keep friends, okay? Because life is not only about you and your husband. Life also involves friends. There's a place for friends in your life, even if you are married. So if you are in a relationship now and the person you are looking to get married to is possessive to the point that he doesn't want or she doesn't want to see you with any other friend, just wants to have you to himself or have you to yourself, you need to run out of that relationship as fast as your legs can carry you.
Wow.
Because yes, that is unhealthy. That is unhealthy. And if you are my 25-year-old self who didn't think it was necessary to keep relationships and maintain relationships with friends, then you need to have a rethink, because it is not healthy either. Okay,
Right.
it's not healthy.
Right.
So that one I definitely would tell myself.
Thank you. So good friends. Good friends. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with good people. Okay.
Good friends.
I want you, Mr. Adeusi, I want you to give us like 3 tips, top tips of raising boys. Now, raising boys. What should a mom or a dad be looking out for? Your top 3 tips for raising boys. Because she's a mother of only 2 boys, eh? She's a mother of boys.
I didn't raise girls, so no way I will know how to do that. Okay. Raising boys, you just need to know that boys will be boys, in the sense that they are energetic, they are wired to be boys, and you are a woman, so you must learn how to handle boys. Okay. Now, what I mean is, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do household chores and stuff like that, because I started teaching my children to cook when the first was 10 or 9, and both of them started learning to cook. So, but you must understand the mindset of boys, the way they are wired. The way a female is wired is different from the way a male is wired. Right. So as a woman, you're raising boys, you first of all must understand, and you can read that in books, okay? So that's a very simple thing. So you must come to terms with the way they are wired, the way they think. Okay. Men are logical, women are emotional. So whenever you ask them to do something, the next thing is, "Mommy, why?" They are just like that. Don't get upset, don't get mad at them. That is the way they are wired. Everything has to be logical to them. When they growing, they will come to terms with the fact that it's not everything that has the logical way to it. Right. But you must understand, because you as a woman, you are wired emotional. Your emotional part is more pronounced. Okay. So you must leave room for the way they are wired. That's one thing. Number 2, don't differentiate between raising your girls and your boys. Raise them with the same principles. Right. Yes, raise them with the same principles. Teach your boys to respect and treat ladies right. We're seeing a lot of evil in the society now. That's right. In marriage, you see spousal abuse, you see rape cases and stuff like that. I hope you know that it is possible for a man who is married to his wife to rape his wife. I hope you know that it is possible. Okay, so let's not go there. And I've heard that very much. And yeah, I'm just saying that on this side. So I know. You must them to respect. I must do something on that. On a show on that. Actually. Women, and to treat them right. Right. It is important, yes. And of course, you have to show them the way of God. There is no other way about it. And lead them to Christ. Don't show them the way of God. Help them to come to a personal decision to invite Christ into their lives as their Lord and Savior. You will do that by teaching them scriptures, by living an exemplary life. Talking about it to them. Yes. Yes. So
You know, that's something that keeps coming up more and more. That it's not a function of what we just say, it's what we also do. In fact, it's mostly what we do, not
yeah,
what you would just say, because kids are watching every move. We're at their mirror. They're seeing and they're seeing what we're saying.
yeah.
They're not just hearing what we're saying, they're actually seeing what we're
They're
saying.
actually
Okay.
not hearing. They are not hearing.
Sorry?
They don't hear what we're saying. They only see.
Mm,
They can't be
they see.
bothered about what we're saying.
Mm,
It's what
they
they see
see.
you do. Yeah,
That
it's what they
matters.
see you do.
Mm,
And
mm,
you could still come up later in life when they will tell you as teenagers or as adults, Mom, but this is the way you used to do it. This is what we saw you do.
mm.
It's what you
Right,
expect.
right,
So be consistent.
right.
Be consistent as a parent. So,
Okay. So I'm going to do a public thanking and I'm going to ask you a final word. And the final thing I'm going to ask you to do um is to give a closing word for this generation, you know, something you'd like to say. But for me, there's something I would like to say, right? I remember when I was dating and I put that up in my post. And before I started dating my now husband, I actually brought him to you. And I said to him, if she says no, I am not going to marry you. Finish. Just pray that this woman that I met in my teens camp says yes. And if she says yes, that's fine. I'm going to go for you. If not, I'm sorry. Because I think that at that time, I realized, and this is an important thing for parents, right? Surround your children with people that are God-fearing, people that are amazing, people that have the same values as you. Because at that time, I didn't go to either of my parents first, not even my siblings, as close as we were. I came to you. I prayed and I came to you. And I said, I'm going to bring him to you and tell me
yeah,
what you think. And so for me, I'm saying that to say that please, parents, it's part of our parenting thing. Surround your children from when they're young with people that are godly. And of course, be protective. I mean, watch them. Because sometimes we trust people and they actually don't turn out to be who we thought they are. So I'm not asking parents to be oblivious, but I'm saying as much as possible, trust God to lead you to the right kind of people that will also be able to speak into your children's lives. So I'd say 1 minute because I'm going to knock it off at exactly in 2 minutes time. I want
yeah.
to ask you to say a closing word like to my generation. What would you like to say? Something that, yeah, to us, a closing word.
It's nothing new. And I think what you have got to do, put all your trust in God. In all your ways acknowledge Him and He will direct your path. Learn to develop a solid relationship with God. Now, when I say solid relationship, I'm with the Holy Spirit. As you study the Word, as you grow, as you do more, and then you have to remember God communicates with you. And you need to release yourself to God so that He can work in you. As parents, what you need most is God. Because at one point in time, every one of us we second guess our parenting skills. It is natural. But if, like Ronke said, you trust in God, you know that the Holy Spirit will always guide you aright. So you will be at peace with yourself. So it is
Right.
important to develop your relationship, not just have a relationship with God, but develop it, develop the intimacy. Keep, intimacy is in levels. So keep improving on your intimacy with God as a parent. It will help your relationship with yourself and it will help you to raise your children right. That's it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you. And to please say bye-bye to everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Hasn't this been wonderful? I think so. Thank you so much. People are saying thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. I really
Thank
want
you
to
so
thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
much
Thank
for
you.
having me. It's a pleasure.
My
It's
absolute
really a
pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you, Stanley.
You're
Have a
welcome, ma.
wonderful day. Bye,
I will.
everyone. Thank
I will.
you. Bye-bye.
All right. All right. So, guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for all the people who listen, all the people who stayed on live. I know at some point the network was a bit interesting, but I'm sure that you got something or the other. Surround yourself with the right people, have the right relationship, keep going, keep improving your relationship with God. It will help with your parenting. Thank you, Benedicta. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Ronke. Thank you, all people, grand writer, all people that have said one thing or the other. Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for being here tonight, and please share, please like, and then next week is Father's Day. There's something really major cooking. It's going to be a man, and it's going to be super. I'm looking forward to next week Sunday, and I'm sure that you are going to learn something. At our next episode, it will be amazing. I'm trusting God. Thank you so much, guys. Keep learning, keep growing, and just know that we've got you. I'm here for you. If you've got any questions, please send it to our Facebook page or YouTube channel. It's Balanle Enang, the Family Life Enthusiast on YouTube. Kindly like, subscribe, and keep growing. Keep being a fantastic parent. Remember, you are the best parent for your child. I love you, and I am thankful that you came. Have a nice evening and a lovely day whenever you watch. Share. Bye. Bye-bye.